time for a look at your West Tennessee forecast with meteorologist Brian Davis.
All right, welcome back in, everyone, on this Thursday. Hope you've had a great day so far. Let's get a check on the weather. 43 degrees. It's kind of chilly out there. You'll want your jacket. Don't go out like me. Trust me, I've done tried that. It's kind of back to a winter feel out there. Savannah looking good. There's been some emergency vehicles for about a little over an hour here, just west of the overpass. Not sure what that's about, but they have been there quite a while. Otherwise, things are pretty quiet in Savannah right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next city. We'll go to Memphis, shall we? Kind of quiet here, but a little warmer at 48, if you'd call it that. It's still quite chilly out there. And in Trenton, where we're at 43 degrees, winds out of the south at 6 miles per hour, and 37 cold degrees right now in Paris. Now, that doesn't feel like wintertime. I don't know what you'd call it, but certainly letting us know that winter is not done yet. As I said earlier to someone, I said right now it's like a mean old Karen that is in a divorce with old man Winter, and they're both arguing as they're walking our way, and we don't have anywhere to get away to escape. That's what's going to happen as we head towards the late part of the weekend. It is going to turn off. If you think this is cold, get ready. Go ahead and get all of the thick coats back out. Sorry to say, it is going to get very frigid down the road. But we've got a couple of great days before we get there. Right now, temperatures 37 in Alamo, 37 in Summerville. This is probably the coldest that we will get tonight. We've got this little area of air here in the upper 30s. And the reason why I say that is because we've got south winds kicking in, and you see it's milder back here to the west. So it's probably the coldest of the night right now, and we're actually going to bump up a couple of degrees by the time we get into the morning. So a little bit different than what we're normally used to, with it being the coldest time of the morning right there at about sunrise. So you can see what we're talking about, those winds out of the south right now at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, and that is probably going to help to counteract the cold air just a little bit as we head into the early morning hours. So let's take a look at the surface map. Here's our feature. This is what we're interested in. Right now, we're just under a very stable area of high pressure, but come Sunday, which is our next severe weather risk, unfortunately, we've got a complicated setup, but look at what you're seeing here. Back to the west, cold, and then another cold front, frigid cold. Now, just to point out, they had some 75 mile per hour winds up across the Dakotas today. We'll get there in just a moment, but let's take a look. We've got all this warm air that's going to be locked in here, because tomorrow we're going to go into the upper 60s. By Saturday, we'll be in the mid 70s, and by the time we get to Sunday afternoon, some of us will be pushing up there about 80 degrees. So we're going to get a lot of warm air in here. All that south wind is going to get us a nice warm front. It's going to go right back to even feeling a little bit on the hot side there by Sunday afternoon, and then comes a vigorous cold front. It's going to sweep in. It's going to mean business, and we're going to see some linear type storms, mainly that would produce like straight line winds, and they're going to come barreling through. We're going to get a 1-2 punch. We're going to get this cold front, but we're going to get that second cold front right in behind it, and that's the one that's really going to bring a frigid night to us for parts of next week. Let's look at our severe weather outlook. We're great to rest of the evening. Tomorrow and Saturday looks lovely. But then Sunday, we go back in that 15% risk of severe weather in any given one area. This will probably wind up being like a marginal 1 out of 5 or a slight risk 2 out of 5 by the time we get to tomorrow, once we get in that range and we can get those different intervals that will be on the map. We'll definitely be showing you those here too. But right now, zooming into this, all of West Tennessee, or just about all of West Tennessee, is included. And here's the thing, it will be, because this front is going to be on the move. It is going to be a fast mover. So even eastern portions, you're not going to get left out. This will just be slid further through the night, or it'll be, you'll be kind of in between the outlooks there. But that's for Sunday evening. So let's take a look at our future cast. So nothing happening tomorrow or Saturday, looking fine. So what I did, I skipped ahead using the Euro model to Sunday, because that's what we're going to be interested in. Now, let's look at this. Here comes the front. Here's the time right here. 4 o'clock, it's coming across the Mississippi, and then by about 7 o'clock, it's coming right through the heart of West Tennessee, and then by about 11 p.m., it's moving out of the eastern counties here. So you can see that. There's the time. There's the way it's kind of laying out based on the Euro model, which is usually more of the accurate this far out. So again, here's you another rerun. Watch out, Sunday evening, 7 o'clock, basically through about 11 p.m., and we could say as early as about 5 or 6 o'clock, because if this was to gain a little more speed, it could certainly be in here a little faster. So, you know, you want to be weather aware even starting about 5 o'clock as it looks right now. Now, we'll be updating if there is any changes. We still are, 3 days or so away from this event, so things can change a little bit between now and then. That's the first story. That storm system could bring damaging gusty winds. It doesn't look tornado type. It looks, like I said, the more linear storms, the straight line storms that bring the winds. And then the second part to this is going to be the bitter cold change in the air. Look at this, 72. This is like 7 p.m. on Sunday evening, 72 degrees in Jackson, upper 60s here in the western counties. And then you go just about, 50 miles to the west, we're at 52, and then we start getting into the upper 30s. So just over about a 70-mile area, we're going to have about a 30, in some cases, 30-plus degree difference in temperature. So what this means, at the speed this is going to be going, we're going to drop about 30 degrees in about 2 hours' time in some cases. And then by the time we get to Monday morning, it's going to be about 30 degrees. So that's going to be the second big part to this big change coming up late weekend. Now, you've got the first part of the weekend good. We're fine. Friday looks good. Saturday looks even better. If you like low 70s, Saturday's going to be almost picture perfect. But just like folks in the great northern plains and the Dakotas, all this, by the way, is wind reports. We had 109 mile per hour wind report there. Several reports over 60 mile per hour winds, and many reports over 50. And I think one of the reports I saw was like 75 mile per hour winds recorded with a blizzard that came through today. And that's a part of the system that's going to be kind of producing what's coming our way. Now, granted, I don't see a blizzard for us, but that wind potential is certainly going to be there, but numerous amounts of wind reports. Meanwhile, back at home, it's quiet. Nothing to worry about tonight, tomorrow, or Saturday for that matter. It's looking lovely. Now, as I mentioned, we're the coldest we're going to be right now. That is our low. We're pretty much going to ride back up to around the low 40s, and then by the time we get to the bus stop in the morning, we'll be about 41 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Should be a pretty nice morning as long as you remember to put the jacket on. But here you are through the morning hours, 6 a.m. 41, 7 a.m. 42, 42 at 8 a.m. And off to the bus stop we'll go under sunny skies. Won't be cold enough for frost here in West Tennessee, but it'll certainly have the cold effect to it, and it'll feel chilly out there. Sunny skies, but we'll be in the mid-60s for Friday afternoon. And that's going to begin a short-term warming trend for us right on into Saturday as well. We'll take a look at this on the 7-day forecast. So, yeah, we're talking about 66 is now the very latest I'd put on for the 7-day, 43 for tomorrow night, and then 73. That is a picture-perfect day there for us on Saturday. And then we get most of Sunday. So the first half of Sunday, if you're headed off to church, that kind of thing, no worries, no problems there. It's mainly going to be once we get into those evening hours beyond about 5 o'clock. That's when we got to start paying attention Sunday. So we're almost going to get like 3 good days here before the storms come through, but they won't last too long. Then we're going to jump from nearly 80 degrees to 30 degrees and only going to go to 40 for the high on Monday. And I think my 7-day shifted a day. Here's what's happened on the automated system. 21 on Monday night. So the severe storms are actually going to be Sunday night, so disregard that. And then 32 as we get into Tuesday night, so it's going to be all the way till Wednesday before we start to finally see a warm-up for us. All right, there's a lot going on in this forecast. Let's get ready. We can handle it, though. You know, we're used to it in West Tennessee. All right, have a great evening, everyone. Take care.
We are West Tennessee Weather Channel.